Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. You know what I find so fascinating about Democrat politicians like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez? They seem to love the spotlight. They want to be a part of all the activist theater, all the Hollywood-style politics. They love the camera, essentially. But of course, only in very controlled environments, right? She loves being at the Met Gala. She loves showing up at the southern border to do a photo shoot. But when the camera's in her face asking her actual hard questions, well, what happens every single time? The same politicians who love being in front of the camera always seem to run away from the camera, like a full-on turnaround and sprint kind of situation. Obviously, you guys know exactly where I'm going with this. We got a video of Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez getting confronted on a track record on the issue of the border, and of course, instead of defending said track record, instead of defending herself, she turns around and runs away from the camera as her security team manhandles the person asking the questions. Boy, do I got a clip and frankly a topic for you guys today. But before we get into any of that, this video is actually brought to you guys by a sponsor, so let's play that clip. This video is brought to you guys by Ground News. If you haven't joined the Ground News crew, then what are you waiting for? Look, if you're an avid viewer of this channel, it means that you're information obsessed. And if that's the case, well, you simply gotta make yourself an account on Ground.News, the absolute best news aggregator in the business. If you're using the Ground News app or website, you're not just seeing a headline or a biased take from one side, you're seeing the story and then all the headlines from left, right, and center. And the best tool that they have to do this is with their coveted blind spot tool. It puts all the top stories and then shows you what the left is ignoring and what the right is ignoring. Here's a great example. After years of the left telling us that Ron DeSantis is turning Florida to a fascist hellscape and wants to ban gay people, well, we're now learning that under Ron DeSantis' leadership, the state of Florida is breaking new records when it comes to tourism spending. And just scroll down a little bit and would you look at that, left-wing publications are choosing to ignore this story. I'm telling you guys, it's a useful tool and it's a website that I use regularly. And so here's the pitch. If you guys want to use this website, well, boy, do I have a deal for you. All you got to do is go to ground.news/hivemind. Just click the link down below in the description or simply scan the QR code on screen and you can save up to 50% off on their Vantage subscription plan. Or if you're in the holiday season and you know somebody in your family who's information obsessed, and that gives you the option to gift a subscription to one of your loved ones. If you guys want to sign up and take advantage of the 50% off promo or gift this subscription to a friend, then click the link. A huge thank you to Ground News. Now back to the video. Okay, here we got a clip of ex-journalist Nick Sorter trying to get comments from AOC. Take a look.
Ocasio-Cortez, so your district is really suffering under the pressure of the border crisis.
Thank you.
Why are? I'm sorry.
Trying to get through the door, man.
Don't touch me. What are you? What? Your district is very much suffering through the border crisis. By this border crisis. Why will you not? No. Get out of my way. Excuse me, sir. Get out of my way. Get your hands off of me. What?
Fall down the stairs, man. Relax.
Stop touching me. Stop touching me.
Sir, you're gonna fall down the stairs.
Are you talking to the Biden administration about fixing the border? Get off of me. What is wrong with you?
You touched me on the stairs.
Thank you.
I did not touch you. I have it on video.
I mean, absolutely insane, isn't it? You know, here we have a politician who's built her entire career on flashy rhetoric, social media activism, and grandstanding, always in the spotlight to show her face to the activist base. But when crap actually hits the fan, when the policies that she advocates for constantly start to backfire and have real-world consequences, real-world harm, well, then all of a sudden she becomes so camera shy. In fact, she's so apprehensive to appear on camera and to speak that she apparently has her security almost playing football here to protect her from having to answer questions. And of course, when that didn't work, she did the typical thing she always does, pretend as if she's being attacked or assaulted. You put your hands on me. No, he didn't. You know, it's just so rich and it's obvious why you have journalists trying so hard to get comments here. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez has essentially built her entire platform by grandstanding on a lot of these progressive issues, and open borders, well, that's kind of been her thing for a while now, hasn't it? So obviously, when a man in New York City, an illegal migrant from Guatemala who Donald Trump, by the way, deported, but then came back in 2023 when that individual lights a woman on fire in a New York City subway cart, well, it's no surprise why journalists would be going straight to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez asking for comment. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is a loud proponent of sanctuary city policies. So yeah, she should have to defend the track record. But of course she doesn't want to do that. She only wants to be there when it's her moment to shine. You know, here's probably the perfect example. When the situation happened with Daniel Penny and Jordan Neely, when the whole Daniel Penny situation happened, I'm sure Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez found her moment to put herself in the spotlight.
She said that he would do it again if
necessary if there was a present threat. What do you make of the comments?
Well, doesn't that, I just feel like that tells us everything. If we do not want violence on our subways, and the point of our justice system is a level of accountability to prevent a person who does not have remorse about taking another person's life. I mean, even people who have engaged in manslaughter or have taken a life accidentally express remorse. And so the fact that a person may express no remorse indicates that there's a risk that it may happen again. And if we do not want to unleash that level of violence, then we should exert a level of accountability to prevent that from happening again.
Yeah, according to her, apparently Daniel Penny's a danger to society, a manslaughterer with no remorse. People like Daniel Penny, according to her, need to be removed from society to make society a safer place. Meanwhile, she advocates for policies that do not hold actual criminals accountable and allows these kinds of situations to continue to happen.
The NYPD saying this is one of the most depraved crimes they have ever seen. Investigators tell us just before 7:30 yesterday morning, both the female and the female victim rather, and the 33-year-old man rode the F train to the Stillwell Avenue subway station in Coney Island. When the train stopped at the end of the line, the man calmly walked up to the woman who was seated and set her on fire with his lighter. MTA surveillance video captured the horrific attack, but we have chosen not to air it. That video shows the victim standing up and taking steps inside the train car while completely engulfed in flame.
It's insane. She'll give all kinds of comments condemning Daniel Penny, a literal hero. The hypocrisy here is astounding. Politicians like AOC love to grandstand about compassion and humanity when it suits them, but they're nowhere to be found when it's time to actually face the music. They're happy to show up for the photo op. AOC looking into a parking lot, witnessing actual humanitarian tragedy. She loves to be there for the photo op. She loves to be there to shout the slogans. She loves to be in Congress grilling people like Tom Homan.
What I'm saying, this is not the only paper where we've given the Secretary numerous options to secure the border and save lives.
And so the recommendation of the many that you recommended family separation.
I recommended zero tolerance.
Which includes family separation.
The same as is with every U.S. citizen parent gets arrested when they're with a child.
Zero tolerance was interpreted as the policy that separated children from their
If I get arrested for DUI and I have a young child in the car, I'm going to be separated. When I was a police officer in New York and I arrested a father for domestic violence, I separated that father
Mr.
from his
Homan,
family.
with all due respect, legal asylees are not charged with any crime.
When you're into the country illegally, it's violation 8 United States Code 1325.
Seeking asylum is legal.
If you want to seek asylum, you go through the port of entry, do it the legal way.
But when it's time to answer for the crime, the instability, and the suffering caused by her own policies that she and Democrats like her have essentially unleashed on the country, and in my view, it should send a very clear message to voters that these people don't care about you. And the contrast here is so clear. Now, just sticking on this issue that happened in the subway, apparently, according to a lot of reports that we're getting right now, this individual, Sebastian Zapata Khalil, was actually an illegal migrant who had been deported by the Donald Trump administration, only to return thanks to the current administration's lax policies. He re-entered the country illegally in 2023 and obviously has been allowed to stay. He's in a sense protected by sanctuary city laws that shield him from the federal authorities, and the current administration isn't even really sending federal authorities to do much work now, are they? And so you see what I mean when I'm saying the contrast is so clear. There's two options here. The progressive left that grandstands on these issues just to make themselves look good so they can steal the limelight and appear as the best human beings among us, but also the people who essentially allow millions of foreigners to invade the country. Some of them unstable people, some of them criminals, violent criminals, gang members living in the shadows of the nation. The Democrat politicians want to bask in all the praise. Meanwhile, the result of their policy is more heinous crimes on the streets. And then there's the other option, which is Donald Trump, in contrast, who's actually protecting the country and its citizens, by deporting illegal migrants, who some of which are, in fact, violent criminals. The question you ought to be asking yourself is how many more innocent lives must be destroyed before politicians like AOC take responsibility for the policies that they support? court. It's not an isolated incident here, friends. And you know what's crazy to think about is that if Donald Trump had won the 2020 election, it's actually possible that a lot of these crimes would have never occurred, but they're happening all over the country constantly. Look at the case of the 15-year-old illegal migrant named Jesus Alejandro Rivas Figueroa, who was arrested for attempted murder after a shooting in Times Square or Lake and Riley, a young girl who was brutally attacked by an undocumented individual who had previously been arrested multiple times but was allowed to remain in the country. These are real-world consequences of AOC's open border policies and sanctuary city protections, and these are things that they should have to answer to, not run away from. You don't get to show up in front of the camera only when it suits you, and then play the victim and act as if you're being harassed when it's time to have the tough conversation. I mean, let's be real. Anyways, I don't know what else to say. That's pretty much what I got for you guys on this one. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.